everybody. Saul Marquez with the Outcomes Rocket. Thanks for joining me again today. I have the privilege of hosting Yadhu Gopalan. He is the co-founder and CEO of Esper. He's got over 25 years and 35 patents in embedded systems and security, and his career includes past engineering leadership roles such as chief architect of the Windows CE and Windows Phone. At Amazon, Yadhu designed backend solutions for the Fire OS and AWS before he owned systems engineering for Amazon Go. Today, Yadhu is the chief geek and CEO and co-founder and visionary behind the mission to educate enterprises about DevOps and smart edge devices at Esper. Yadhu, such a privilege to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
I covered briefly kind of what you did, but is there anything that you want to fill in on your bio there that I just shared with the listeners?
Yeah, perfect. I mean, the bio kind of talks about like how I was in the devices space, but that's really the core of kind of where we are at Esper. It's 25 years working with devices in all forms and different factors and different types of devices, building infrastructure like a whole bunch of times across career for these devices. And for example, in Amazon Go, we had all these devices in the store. We still had to go build infrastructure, be able to manage them, deploy software on them, and kind of have a continuous operations and build that systems where our developers could deploy software to them. And Amazon is an amazing engineering company. They can afford to build things on their own, and started Esper with the idea that we need to kind of make this more turnkey, make it more democratize it, and make it available to other people who don't want to invest in infrastructure.
The architecture, the development of these devices is not easy and oftentimes is a heavy lift for a lot of organizations. So really great that you guys have decided to be in this game and make it turnkey for everyone. So Yadu, what is it that got you into healthcare?
Um, Primarily because healthcare is an area that really can use something like what we do. Um, our mission is really power exceptional devices, regardless of where they are, where the space is. And as you've seen in healthcare, there is this proliferation of devices that are happening, whether it's in a hospital setting or in telehealth or even in the clinic. There's lots and lots of devices, and I think more and more devices are going to be available for patient monitoring. I've seen some really amazing demos recently of new devices that are coming out, and the idea that these devices are going to be out there um, really requires that infrastructure especially for health. We're talking about where the ability for someone to completely control in a way to make sure that they're protected, make sure they're secure, make sure their compliance plays a big part in healthcare. And one of the things we do is making sure that they're compliant. You can update them, you can have security updates, feature updates if something is not working. And healthcare is perfect for like the amount of level of and the mechanisms you need in order to be kind of lock these devices down and being able to improve those devices because all the technology and everything is improving. And as I said, make sure they are secure and they are have that compliance along with them. So perfect. We are in lots of different spaces in payment and stuff, but healthcare is the perfect area where they need all of what we do.
You guys serve a much broader ecosystem, but healthcare is a niche that you guys are really built for with all the capabilities, the upgrades, the security, and security is a big issue. You know, we've seen a lot of cyber attacks targeting med devices as well, and hospital in the home. How do we keep these devices safe?
Everybody's running some operating system or some software that they built on some libraries or whatever. And when vulnerabilities are found, you got to push those, and you got to push them with like confidence. And if you the if you talk about where these devices and who's using them, they don't know. They're not the experts. They just want to have the use case. It's a product. They don't want to think about how it's locked, how it's compliant. It needs to be done from administratively from whoever is kind of product. The doctors don't want to care about this. The patients definitely don't want to care about it. They just want to
Yep.
know that their device is secure and is compliant. Um, and also use cases where like we're in where um, clinical trials or something like that, even without security, you want to like block this device as exactly as it was and not have changes happen to them. So we're really big into the trials. So there's another case where you want you want like holistically be this trial is doesn't change over time because
Yeah.
those are all like FDA mandates on everything about the trial has to exact and be able to be replicated. So there are all those type of use cases that we see beyond just the normal security and things that are common across the field. So perfect fit, as you said.
And so when you think about your company and the work that you and your team are up to, what would you say, I hear security, I hear reproducibility, but what would you say is the thing that adds the most value to the healthcare ecosystem?
One of the things is like when we talk about people in the healthcare space is and across the board is people are struggling with like software, hardware, compatibility, configuration, new models, being able to support multiple different device type, different use cases, and they want, regardless of the device, they want a single pane of glass to be able to kind of understand what their system device. So imagine a manufacturer of a device. They have like 4 or 5 device types for different use cases. They want to kind of know what's happening across the board. They may be connected in a way. So they really want holistic view of that. And then the other one is like like getting these config, making sure that they're configured and exactly the way you want it, and so that you know that your software will run the right way across the board. And then when there's updates, make sure that the updates don't the software. Being able to test, deploy, validate, monitor, and that's the other thing is like a lot of times, um, especially for telemedicine um, um, and type of situation, is what you'll have happen is this is in somebody's house and
Yeah.
they're not necessarily tech savvy, and they may have maybe somebody who can't even read the screen and talk. So you're gonna have to do diagnostics remotely. So we provide a really good capability of like understanding what's happening on the device, being able to securely permission and be able to diagnose and debug all these things, remote control if you need it, so that you can get the patient out of a jam or understand functionality, and lots of telemetry about um, continues to be um, 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 secure and privacy, all inclusive, but understand what the device is doing and device is malfunctioning, and or has it been updated and all of those scenarios. Um, they need a system for that, and we help these companies, whether it's like remote patient care or in hospital devices across the board, and help them manage these devices in a better way.
Your end client ends up being med tech companies, technology companies, and healthcare in this particular niche that we're talking about.
Companies either building products that are employee facing or customer facing, but they're building a product.
Yeah.
Whether it's a physician carrying a tablet and you've got software that's but you put together a system that's this tablet plus some software, and you're handing it to physicians, or it's a custom device. We have that's monitoring back pain, and it's got a device that's attached to it as a sensors, and that's going to consumers for telehealth, or some type of hospital monitoring device.
Got it.
um, it's a product. It's not an,
Yep.
and that I say that because it distinguishes between what an IT may for general use case market, not like a iPad, iOS that are general purpose that employees may use.
It's a product that has hardware. In this
Yeah.
particular instance, it's Android hardware, right? It's
We
Android
support
devices.
iOS too.
Oh, and
So that
iOS.
and
Okay,
iOS, yes.
got it. So a product that has devices attached to it for its functionality. So, folks, if you're building these things, I know many of you are. Making sure you have the right partners is so key. And that's why I was excited to get Yadhu on here because he and his team are doing some really unique things to help a lot of the pain points that we experience in med device and in med tech and healthcare software as a service products. It's that security, it's the redundancy, it's the modularity. So all these things are really exciting. Um, you highlighted many things and I really appreciate understanding the applications, Yadu. What would you say makes you different or better than what's out there today?
It's like fundamentally we're built to enable these products, and that's like our DNA from day one. We're not a repurposed IT management tool for tablets and phones, where you can do device management and so on. It is all about building these secure, compliant solutions that are products in themselves. And so it starts with the DNA the of the company. And the, when I see the ecosystem, if you want to do, because companies, if they want to do it right, they build it. Um, that's the thing. Is like what we do. Many companies build it because there's really nothing that's not like more of an IT tool for device management, but rather a tool for uh, kind of building your product. It's along with your other tools you use to build, but this is the tool your product you're building together. And the example I give is like Tesla. I mean, this is not a health tech thing, but Tesla has
Yeah,
they have it's a software system and software manager. They built it because to do it right, they built it. And what we want to do is make that capability available for everyone else to do.
it's a turnkey base that they could build their products and technologies off of. And tell us about look. So how long have you been running the business?
We're a little bit over 5 years.
Cool,
Started in 2018, um,
nice.
and so and we've got like lots of different customers and lots of different types, and many customers in the health tech space.
So in those 5 years, Yadu, as entrepreneurs here, just chatting as entrepreneurs, what was a big setback you experienced and a key learning that came out of it?
Through the COVID time, etc. It was a great time for remote devices, but
True.
the side effect of what had happened and then continuing, like what happened in the economy and everything is um, supply chain. So our even though we're truly a software SaaS system, our customers rely on hardware, and
Yeah.
so
The chip
for say
shortages.
they struggled either getting hardware that they can put together in this product, or even building chips, other parts and stuff like that to put together products. It was a real struggle. And one of the learnings we did was, since this is so critical to what like these customers succeeding and being able to get this, we need to build a better um, connection with the ecosystem. So we can be, so we can help our customers, even though we're not building any hardware, because it just is really critical. So we start to building kind of the knowledge base, know-how, and the people and the connections. So we can say, hey, you're having a hard time doing this. Let's talk to X, Y, and Z. Let's go
Yeah.
figure this. So that's one of the things we ended up doing. There are many customers that
Smart.
rely on us and help us even from day one. It's like sometimes we get people that like, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? What was your recommendation? And we might even get some. They're not even the customer. They may ask, I'm looking at this type of thing. What would you be your recommendation to help? And that's really important. And across the board, it's like our success depends on customers being able to succeed and deploy devices. So we will, um, whatever we can do, try to help them succeed on, regardless. And in this case, it's about hardware choices. Is it?
I remember. I mean, it was hard. It was hard. Are chips available? Is everything back to normal now? Do you feel like?
Way better. I mean, I'm sure there's still a little bit of problem from companies, but it's, it's gotten a lot better. I wouldn't say it's 100%
That's
back to
good.
normal, but it's pretty
Yeah.
close.
I remember right after the pandemic, being at CES, and there's an announcement of several build outs of new factories, right, to develop chips, and kind of those will be introduced into the supply
Exactly.
chain. Yeah.
Supply chain, and then people try to head alternative places so it doesn't happen as much again. So
Yeah. No, good stuff. Love your proactive approach there. Thanks for sharing that, Yadu. And how about, trends in tech? We're interested in the latest. What do you think is a trend or technology that's going to change healthcare as we know it today?
everybody's seeing it, but I'm actually seeing proof positive of this is um, devices are proliferating to like if I look at a house, um, there are more and more devices not that are becoming smarter. My house, um, of course, the temperature control, my watering system, my garage door opener, they're all Wi-Fi. They
Yeah.
all have this. So that's going to continue to happen, and it's continuing to happen in healthcare. You're gonna have multiple health devices in your home. That is a trend. I saw a really cool demo of some like a it was a weight scale, but also did a bunch of scanning with a camera and could take pictures of your feet and do some diagnostics and all of these things. So there's more and more of these things coming out. But what's really exciting is the ability to add generative AI in these devices. And what I think that's still the normal, but it still has to come down the generative AI. And, but it is happening. I've seen some demos of this. Initially, more conversational, the drive through, replacing the drive through ordering and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
making its way into healthcare, more
Interesting.
conversational, especially you can imagine for patients how that's going to be really key, rather than having to go do something or type something. But that's just the start. It's going to be about what are the diagnostics and some of the offloading of that directly will start to happen, especially for telehealth and telemedicine type of scenarios. But it's going to also help um, 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 like doctors in various different ways. So I think that's like um, it's not going to happen immediately because there's still like huge cloud cost, but there's still
Sure.
connectivity. They can solve the connectivity, but it just, for example, Google just announced their Gemini, but Nano, which is the ultra low model for
Hmm.
devices that can go on phones. So
Interesting.
that's just the start. So you're going to see. I'm really excited on what's not being taught about and what's going to be imagined and what people are all these builders out there are going to be thinking about building. Is what's really exciting.
The driveway thing I hadn't heard about. But there's so many applications,
So
and the world is transforming in front of all of our eyes. So really appreciate you sharing that one. Look, we're here. We're at the end. Time flies, and just want to thank you for your time. If you can, Yadu, can you share a closing thought with us? And also the best place listeners could get in touch with you, and the company.
really, I mean, what we are enabling people, builders, and people who are thinking about building new software, new solutions. We want to help them out. We want to enable them. We'd love to help you augment your healthcare strategy with how can we augment it with devices. So happy to talk to anyone. And if you want, you can reach out to me on directly on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to have conversations there. And then, of course, if you want to learn more about us, you can go to www.esper.io. We have a lot of information. You can request for more information there. But DM me on LinkedIn too. I'm happy to have that conversation.
Folks, as I say on every episode, if something today resonated with you or you thought, maybe Yadu and his team at Esper could help me, don't stop at just listening. In the show notes, you're going to see links to Yadu's LinkedIn. We'll include a link to Esper, his company, and take action on today's episode, because there's opportunities for you to take your product and your future roadmap to the next level. So certainly consider Yadhu and Esper for what you're doing in your technology field. And Yadhu, just want to thank you for being with us. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me on here. It was a lot of fun too.